Hi, Jewells68 here for Talk to Me Tuesday on Thursday, July 12th. And welcome to monsoon season in New Mexico. Monsoon season hits every summer, usually in July, sometimes late June through late July. And basically every afternoon, thunderheads fill up the sky and we get thunderstorms. Usually with no rain except on the mountains, because I live in Albuquerque and we're in a mountain valley. We do sometimes get a little rain here in the valley. The great thing about monsoon season is desperately needed moisture here in the high desert. The not so great thing about monsoon season is the humidity, which is way higher than it normally is here in the high desert, and results in me having to go to work with let's say, embracing my inner Hobbit, shall we say. My hair is naturally wavy, and when it hits this humidity, or when this humidity hits, it turns into a fro. So, welcome to my monsoon hair. Anyway, I desperately need a haircut, obviously. Not a whole lot new this week from last week. I think I'm going to participate, if I can get this bag filled up by Sunday, in HP5 Freak's Summer Swap or Bust, where you take a tote bag and fill it full of stuff from your stash, or Summer Stash or Bust? Maybe that's what it was, Summer Stash or Bust. Anyway, you fill it up with stuff from your stash. Could be yarn, fabric, crafty knickknacks, buttons, whatever you might have that you can spare, and maybe you want to clean out your supplies a little bit so that you can get some new supplies or whatever. Didn't find a tote bag around the house that I wanted to use, and my whole reason for wanting to do this swap was using up things I already have. So, after thinking a bit about what I wanted to do, and knowing that I really didn't want to go buy a bag and not really having time to craft a new bag, I remembered a bag that I made a few years ago. My daughter wanted a smaller backpack to carry around for field trip days, because her middle school did a lot of field trips. I work for a radio station, and one of the things they hand out just is like one of these backpacks with a station logo on it. And this is the kind that everybody was carrying on their field trips. I made a pocket. Made a fully lined zippered pocket out of quilting fabric, that I then used fusible, like steam-a-seam, I think is what I used, to fuse it to the bag. This is a nylon ripstop bag. So I fused it to the bag and then top-stitched it all the way around to keep it on there. And I know it's sturdy because I just recently found it and it was kind of dusty, and I decided to throw it in the wash, and it came out just fine and nice and clean. So this is what I'm going to use for my summer swap or bust, summer stash or bust swap. I'll get it right one of these days. Anyway, so I'm going to fill that up with stuff for the swap, and that's that. Next would be birthday blocks. I have 2 birthday blocks that are going to go out in the mail next week, along with the summer stash or bust. One for clumsy cord, which I'm not going to show you the whole block, and one for a lady in Australia. I can't remember her name, but she's part of the swap, and she's also an August birthday. Those are both August. Happy accident this week. Our house is like 60, 70 years old, and there's this melamine, I don't know, Formica, I guess is what it is, countertop on the sink, and it was cracked. And I was doing dishes, and I was wearing a skirt that I wear every week to work in the summer because it's just like a big bohemian long skirt, and it ripped right there. And I was so pissed because now I have to go find a skirt. And I haven't made any skirts this summer, even though I had originally planned to, before I knew I was going to have surgery. So there's that rip. What I ended up doing, and it's not done yet, but I just thought of it this morning. I was like, why do I have to make a new skirt? Why don't I just make this skirt shorter by cutting that top tier off? So this is now what I have, and it's already serged right there, so all I have to do is make a waistband out of like a black t-shirt, and sew that on, and then I have a new skirt. And to be honest, the skirt was too long anyway, and so I always rolled it down at the waist to make it not like catch on the floor when I go up the stairs or on my chair at work. So this will actually solve two problems. I'll get to keep my skirt, which I invested so much money in at Goodwill. I think I paid like $5 for it, I don't know, 4 years ago. But I love it, and it's got this great eyelet trim at the bottom, and that's what made me decide I really wanted to save it. I either wanted to cut that trim off and put it on another skirt, and then I thought, why cut the trim off? Why not cut the top tier off? And then it will just be a shorter skirt. So that's what I'm going to do. And it's still going to be not quite mid-calf length, even after I've cut it off. So that's that. I raced through all of that. I see by the clock it's time for me to wrap this up because I got to get to work. Project Linus is this Saturday. Obviously, I've only worked on my blanket, I think, once since my last video. So obviously it's not done. But I am plugging away at it, and I will hopefully have it done by the August meeting, but at least I know that I can crochet now, and I will be able to sit and crochet at the meeting, even if I can't turn in a finished blanket, so that's okay. So I hope everyone else has a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye! We had a crack on the melamine, countertop crap.